Syd Fizzard for Rebel News here in Banff, Alberta for the Kananaskis G7 Summit. Now, we have spent a fair amount of time at the media center so far getting prepared for the day's events today and the next 2 days. But while we were here, we wanted to talk to some of the locals, speak to some of the people, both those who live here and the tourists that might be from around the world, some of which we found out were of the same countries that some of these G7 members were at. And the most important question we had was, if you had a question for your world leader here at the G7 Summit, what would that question be? Here are those interviews. Obviously, the Kananaskis G7 Summit is taking place right now. You just told me you're a local, you're living around here. How has it affected you?
Not that much. It's just getting a bit busier around the region. There's a few helicopters and, yeah, that's about it. No, it's just getting a bit more busy. It's great for us. Yeah. Work's getting busier.
Yeah. Well, and did you? We had to get our special passes for media, and I was told that they were also providing that for locals. So did you have to get registered to come and go?
No, I didn't actually. Yeah. But no, it's just getting a bit busier. That's all it really is.
Well, that's certainly good news. Well, what do you think about the G7 coming to Kananaskis? Do you think that they're going to do anything that benefits regular people?
I would love to. I think it would be great to get the environment a bit more cleaner. I want to know, but I haven't really known about what's really going on. I'm not really in the know, but trying to learn more as I'm here. But yeah.
Well, how long have you been here?
Oh, about 2 years.
2 years. You're liking it, eh?
I love it here. Yeah, I love it here.
What would you say the best thing about Alberta is?
Probably the weather, winter and summer. You got the sun, you got the winter, you got the snow.
You living here or are you visiting here?
No, I'm visiting here from Los Angeles.
From Los Angeles, okay. Well, President Trump's going to be here. I think he's going to be flying in. Oh, okay. I guess you're not a fan of Trump, though, eh?
No.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, what do you think about the conflict between him and Prime Minister Carney and when it comes to the whole trade situation between Canada and the U.S.?
Not needed. I'm ex-Canadian.
Yeah.
But have been in the United States for the last 31 years.
Fair enough. I guess you like where you moved to, eh?
I'm good both places. Both places are still considered home, but some policies are not right to put in place.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, and Prime Minister Mark Carney, he's going to be the host, obviously, this year of the G7, and he's set the agenda. Have you heard? What do you make of Prime Minister Carney taking the reins?
Truthfully, very little knowledge, if any, but I know his background and the economic side of the business, and some of the things that he is doing for Canada is right. So the steps he's taking are right, as far as I'm concerned. But that's my opinion. I got to get more informed decision soon, but I'll get there.
Fair enough. Well, and if you had a message that you would deliver to the G7 members that are going to be off there in Kananaskis, what would your message to them be?
Find a way to make it work that works for everyone, not just one.
I don't know a whole lot about what the G7 summit is, but I think anytime countries can work together rather than separating countries, it should be beneficial in some form or fashion. And that's what worries me. I think we're just we're pushing too many people away and causing friction everywhere.
Well, and I hate to say it, but our Prime Minister, Mark Carney, also boldly emphasized the fact that our relationship with the United States is over. It seems like he's burning a pretty big bridge there.
That is a big bridge. I mean, this is a wonderful country, and I would hate to see that happen. Because I feel like, we're not the same country, but we're brothers and sisters, or should be, on this earth. And we're burning a lot of bridges, I'm afraid.
Just visiting from Australia.
From Australia, okay. Yeah. So obviously members from Australia are going to be coming as well. How do you feel they're going to handle themselves at the G7 summit?
Well, it's hard to say. I think Trumpy's put in a spanner in the works. So, I think they'll be trying to push our own country's barrow and try and get as best a deal as we can get. Yeah, with regards to the tariffs.
I mean, probably more the latter. I kind of hope that behind closed doors things are being done. You rarely hear big news about actual developments after these things, but maybe there's stuff happening that we don't necessarily hear about. If I'm trying to be positive about it all.
Fair enough.
But we need people who teach the new people, from little kids or when they are older. We need a lot of people for this.
I would think that the G7 is not really the place for this, right? It's to get international politics going and to help the world to become a better place.
Well, by definition, immigration is international, right?
True, it is. Yes, you're right.
They speak about the Ukraine-Krieg. No? The main thema is Ukraine war.
Ukraine war.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a very big problem in Germany. It's very close, and Russia is not far away, so there's a lot of people very worried about that.
Well, if I recall, all of the coal plants that were shut down, now they rely on Russia for a lot of their energy. Was that a mistake to shut down all those plants?
No. No, it was not a mistake. Because I have never seen here, we have now very good other energy. We have earth energy, we have wind energy and solar energy. And it works very good.
Well, it works for certain things, right?
Yes.
Like there's no solar at night, you know.
Yes, we need a lot of energy, no? Of course, no?
Yeah, and so if you had one question for your world leader at the G7, what would your question to him be?
The most question, I hope he is more tough in the next years and strong and leads the country.
Achieve a solution for the Ukraine. That would be good for everybody, right?
Honestly, I don't personally feel a whole lot of difference from like a normal year of volume. It seems to be pretty normally operating.
Yeah.
Obviously, the air traffic with the G7 locally is kind of fun. We see like the F-14s fly by or the Black Hawk choppers, and that's always, it gets a kick out of like the small town people. They're just like, you know, I kind of feel that bigger world around. So, but honestly, with the media festival, the marathon, it's like obviously good energy, good day for a run. So yeah, it's a nice time to, I'm not disturbed by it or anything like that. So yeah, it's great.
From Vancouver.
Vancouver, okay. So obviously we have our new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, and obviously he being the Prime Minister now, he's going to be leading the G7. He sets the agenda. Do you trust that Mark Carney will set a good G7 agenda?
Well, time will tell. I wish him all the luck. He is an experienced person. He's worked over in the UK, and I wish him all the luck. And I think he's a capable person, and time will tell. But I do have confidence in Mark.
President Trump's going to be visiting Kananaskis pretty shortly. That's just a short ways from here. What's your reaction to his first visit to Canada in his new term as office?
What's my reaction? Do we have a reaction?
We think it's great.
Yep. Yeah. We had a great party celebrating the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary on his birthday, and put on a great show. And people are excited and enthused.
And Canada's our neighbors.
So
we love our neighbors.
We love our neighbors.
I'm glad he's in the area, I guess. I mean, I think it's always good to keep Canada close, especially as a neighbor of the States. But
well, you know, I hate to break it to you, but our Prime Minister, Mark Carney, said that our relationship with the United States is over. What do you make of that?
There's no way. I mean, we're too close, I think, as far as the people go. I mean, politicians will say what they'll say, but I mean, we're good friends with Canada, especially as a Minnesotan. We love hockey. Canada loves hockey. That's what we got. So.
Prime Minister Mark Carney, when he was campaigning to become Prime Minister, he was like, you know, our relationship with the United States is over. We need to, you know, distance ourselves from these people. He was very, I would say, rude towards Americans and the allyship that we have as Canadians with them, especially considering, you know, our world's largest border, some of the biggest trade is between our two countries. How do you feel about our current trade situation?
Well, you can't take what Trump says in public 100% seriously. A lot of it's meant for public consumption and to rile a few feathers.
I agree.
Fair enough. Well, and also, obviously, the G7 members are going to be here. If you had a message for the G7 members, what would that message be?
Can we all get along?
I think most people can say it's a fluid situation, what goes on between Canada and the United States. I feel bad for especially the manufacturers back in Ontario there, especially in the car business and the steel companies and stuff there. I mean, people have to feed their families, people have to put food on their tables there, and there's a lot of inconsistencies. But you know, time will tell. I heard a date of June 30th, July 1st, that they says that they're coming up with maybe a date to try to solidify things. And we as Canadians still deserve certainty. We need that confidence. We need certainty, and we deserve that. And, you know, I know I'm rambling, but Canada is a very, very rich country, very wealthy. The amount of resources we have there, we should have no such thing as poverty. And you know, power to the people, and have the resources for our folks here. And
do you think that, though, this is just a lot of lip service? Like, they come to this, you know, beautiful, serene area of the world. You know, they say, oh, look how environmentally friendly we are, even though we're flying in on our private jets that are, you know, gallons and gallons of oil and fuel are being wasted.
It does subvert like all that, and does, like, you know, I think that creates a lot of political cynicism where you know, it's all talk is cheap, it's all PR. You know what I mean? I always look at, you know, I've always actually thought of politicians as kind of some of the biggest PR reps. You have all the people underneath running all this stuff, and with these core values, and then the suit comes out and is the face of the government and tries to pacify it. And that's what it always feels to me.
Obviously, the G7 is some of the world's most powerful people. Do you think that they're going to have this meeting as just kind of like a chest thumping exercise, or do you think it's going to help the average person like you and me?
I will say, in terms of everything going on right now, it does seem like it might be a little bit of a chest thumping exercise, but at the same time, you can only hope that something does arise from it. Whatever side of the aisle you stand on, you do have to acknowledge that regardless, climate and nature is something worth being protected. Now, whether or not we're going to come to a mutual agreement might be a bit of a different question, but it will be a little bit of both, I find. There'll be some good that comes from it, but it'll also be a way of trying to show off to other political leaders as well.
Well, and when it comes to your world leader, if you had a message that you would send to them or a question you would ask them, what would that question be?
To help fix the housing crisis in Australia, the same is what it is pretty well everywhere. Yeah, so
is it? I know because other countries, immigration is a large factor with housing. Is it the same?
That's it's the same, and I think we have to sort of back off a little bit on the immigration until we catch up. Basically, this is my view.
If I could put it on you, one question about Keir Starmer. If you had one question you could put to him, what would that question be?
When are you going to resign?
And why do you want him to resign?
He's doing nothing for the UK. Absolutely nothing. I can't believe that he's actually the Prime Minister of the UK.
Is immigration a large topic of concern for you?
Big time. Absolutely big time. Tax and where we're going with the UK taxes is big as well. It's ironic that obviously here we are in Canada and we had Prime Minister Carney as our Governor of the Bank of England. But that's, that aside, we're in a bit of a tornado. But we're not the only country like that. Obviously, there's other European countries that are like it as well, France, Germany. We know that.
I guess keep the peace. We like Canada, keep them close, keep them friends, right? So, yeah, I guess no question. I don't know. I got nothing for that. So,
well, first of all, if our people want our product with the oil, we add value to it. We refine it. We add value to it here, right in this province. And Peter Lougheed was brilliant with that back in the day in Alberta. In fact, that's what made people created so much general wealth in this province, is when we had that refinery business into it, that we added value onto it there. I don't like to see things going off raw and being refined in a different country, part of the world there. You add value to this there, and once you refine it there, then just ship it off by line there. But make sure we add value added to it there, and the prosperity stays here in this province and this country. That's very, very important to me. Huge.
Let me know in the comments your question that you would ask to the world leaders here at the G7 Summit. For Rebel News, I'm Syd Fizzard. G7reports.com is where you have to go if you want to see the latest from Rebel News on the Kananaskis G7 Summit. And that's at G7reports.com.